So now chapter 7, entering Chroot and building additional temporary tools. So the first thing we've got here is that we need to mount some virtual kernel file systems before we enter the Chroot environment. The commands in the remainder of this book must be performed while logged in as root and no longer as user LFS. So let's do Control D to come out of the LFS user. First thing I'm going to do is make sure the LFS variable is still active and the umask is still set to 22, which it is. Next, we're going to change the ownership of everything we've created so far to be owned by the root. And in the case of 64-bit, change the permissions or the ownership of the lib64 directory as well. Now we're going to mount some virtual kernel file systems. This allows access to these inside the Chroot environment. So create some directories so that these virtual kernel file systems can be mounted. And these are file systems that are maintained by the kernel, which is why they're virtual, because they're not real file systems, but they appear as what have I done there? Oh, right, that's not copied correctly, is it? Right, that's better. Right, I'm actually going to come out and go back in, despite what I said before. So I've got to, because LFS won't exist, the umask may already be 22 anyway. It is, so I don't need to do that. So I'll just export LFS equals /mnt/LFS. I'm not sure what that mode looks like. It tried to interpret that as something. Probably set it as a environment variable, I guess. So echo $LFS. And I've got the proc should be mounted. Yes, it is on LFS, so I can carry on. So that should be those virtual file systems mounted. I've got dev-tempfs mounted, dev-pts, proc, sysfs and tempfs, so it's all 5 of them, so that's good. Finally, I need to run this. Depending on what is found for SHM, it explains it there. It'll either install a directory or it will mount tempfs at the directory, and it looks like we've had a mount performed. Next, we're going to enter the Chroot environment with that command there. And you'll notice we've got make flags and test suite flags have been set there to the number of processors, so we can actually double check that they exist, and they do. And that one does as well. And there's explanation there about how they're set, these other variables, and if you desire other flags, good place to set them. So now we're going to create some more directories. And as it says, some of these may already have been created, such as boot we were just about to create, so that's why it hasn't appeared in the output there, because it already exists. Makedir hasn't done anything for that one. And let's put all these in now. So again, I'm doing this one at a time. In case there's an error, I'll be able to see easily which command caused the error. Right, 2 link commands. Let's create some symlinks. There's one. There's the other one. And a couple of directories with some special permissions. And there's some information there about the user-lib64. Thought that was mentioned before, maybe it's just here. So some essential files and symlinks need to be created to complete the basic system before we start compiling the final tools in the temporary system. And we've got a tester user that's created here for the test we'll run later in chapter 8. And we re-log in now to get rid of that I have no name prompt because we've got an etc password. And last of all, just a few more files and some permissions changes on them. And we can carry on building the last tool. So we need to change back into sources, extract each tarball again, and change into it. So start off with, we'll see how long this takes, actually 1.3 SBU, so it should be, I can't remember, was it 2 minutes? So it should just be over 2 minutes for this. So time, configure command, then the make command, and then we copy the tools that are required, just 3 programs, into the appropriate position. Okay, that's finished. So, yep, that's copied. You can see the last 3 files are copied. That's fine. Tidy that up and move on to Bison. So configure. Compile it. And install. And that's done. Move on to Perl next. Okay, now let's compile that. Okay, that's done. Let's install it. And tidy up. Next, got Python. Now, I've got to ensure you extract the right Python here. It begins with a capital P, not a lowercase p, otherwise you'll be extracting the documentation, I believe. And again, cd Python in capitals. configure. And compile. Okay, that's done. Let's now install. And that's complete. Again, make sure you delete the capital P Python, not the lowercase, otherwise you'll probably be deleting the tarball for the documentation, which we'll need in chapter 8. So Texinfo, build that. And install it. Tidy up. And next we've got Util-linux. So we create a directory and then run the configure. and build it. And install, and that's done. So cleaning up and saving the temporary system, we can save some space by removing documentation, getting rid of some libtool archives, and removing the tools directory. They've got some information here about backing up. I don't usually do this. I did used to do it. I haven't found a lot of use for it, so I've stopped doing it. I am not going to do it now because I haven't got anywhere to save the backup. I could save it on this system, but it's a live GUI. It would just be in memory. So if I needed to reboot, I'd lose it anyway. But the instructions are fairly straightforward. The key thing is that after you've exited and you've unmounted all the virtual file systems, you archive the file. This information is on how to restore it if you do need to restore it. But the thing you've got to remember is you've got to remount the virtual file systems and then re-enter the Chroot environment before you carry on. So that's the key thing if you do go through this.